So welcome to our student panel for the Communication Sciences and Disorders major. I have three phenomenal students with us this evening, or whenever you happen to be watching this recording. So I'm just going to have everybody introduce themselves, and then we can talk through a variety of topics and take some questions from students who have joined us. Kaylee, will you begin?
Hi, I'm Kaylee. I'm a senior at Springfield College in the ComDis program. My minor is in art therapy. I'm currently the community outreach coordinator on the NISLA exec board, which is our club for the ComDis major on campus. I have an on-campus job in the development office, and I'm currently doing practicum. That sums it up right now.
Thanks. And Sam?
I'm Sam. I'm a junior in the ComDis major. My minor is in health science, and I'm also a part of the NISLA club. I am the president of our hall council, and I am an ambassador, which is a tour guide here on campus.
Christina.
Hi, I'm Christina. I'm a junior in the ComDis program, and I'm going to try to be a rehab and disability minor. I'm involved with being the major and pride events chair for our campus activities board here at Springfield College. I'm also an alternative break leader this year, and I'm also a part of NISLA as well.
And I'm Debbie Burnett, and I teach in communication sciences and disorders. I've been faculty at Springfield College. This is my third year at the college. So I've seen some of these students for a few years now, and I'm also chair of the health sciences department. So we're gonna talk through a variety of topics. And I think it would be great to hear why students chose ComDis as their major and why at Springfield College. So whoever wants to take it away.
I can go first. I've picked, can't speak, speech therapy because my cousins had been involved in it when I was in high school, and I actually was the one kind of driving them back and forth from therapy. And instead of going, I kind of, and just like waiting in the car, I went in sometimes and got more interested in what I was doing, what they were doing. So I was like, oh, maybe I should kind of look at this as a major and an option. And I actually really loved it. I shadowed in a school setting and in an outpatient medical setting, and I was like, oh, I could do either here. So I applied to it for Springfield College, and I really liked Springfield because the amount of practicum hours that you would get as your senior year. That's kind of really what drew me to this program, was the amount of experience that you'll get here compared to other colleges in the area.
I can go next. And Christina, unless you want to go. So I actually came into Springfield College undeclared, and I declared at the end of my freshman year. I took the intro class, and I kind of was like, I wasn't really sure what I wanted to do, but I knew I wanted to do something health science and something with like a general population, which you get with speech therapy. You can work with people from literally birth to death. So I thought that was very interesting. And there's a variety of fields you can work in, which is something else that I was looking for because I tend to get bored easily. So I wanted something that if I needed to switch it up, I had the option to. So I took intro and was intrigued, and I just stuck with it. And that's about it.
I also came into Springfield College as an undeclared major, but I knew I wanted to do something medical and help people. And one thing that like really inspired me to like learn more about this major was an SLP worked with my mom who had like brain tumors, and she had a lot of speech difficulties a few years back. So like that kind of like really interested me, but I thought I wanted to do nursing. But then once I like took intro, I like knew like speech is like really the path I want to go down. And I also chose Springfield College because I really like the small classroom settings and like having like those close connections with your peers and your teachers as well.
And who would like to share some of the best things about your time at Springfield?
I can share one thing. Um, Having the opportunity to travel to Orlando 2 years ago for the ASHA conference as a student volunteer was one of like the best experiences ever. I like gained so much like insight and knowledge from all the speech pathologists and audiology people down there. And I got to learn like what it's like to go to one of those big conferences that we might need to go to someday. And I thought it was just really cool. All like the education things they like offer and all like the pamphlets and stuff you could take home.
Whenever anyone asks me this question, I always say the community that Springfield fosters here on campus. Like that was kind of the major reason I picked this school, was because of the connection and the people and opportunities you're able to make through here. And honestly, even still being on Zoom for classes, I'm meeting people like in breakout rooms, like you would think I knew them before. So it's kind of cool that we get to do that here and meet so many people. I love it.
That was also going to be my response. I think I met a vast majority of people that I wouldn't really have met necessarily at like a bigger school. I think Springfield really is unique in that sense where your class size is so small that you get to know everyone by their name and professors know you by name. So I think it's something that is overlooked when you're making a decision about going to school that I would have overlooked. And I'm so thankful that I chose something like Springfield College because I wouldn't be where I'm at without it.
Very good. I think that actually is helpful in the next topic, which is to talk a little bit about working with your professors and do they have office hours, which I refer to as student hours because they're my time for students. And then just experiences with that and advising. And just so everyone understands, I'm also these students' academic advisor, but please speak freely.
I can go first. So yeah, most professors hold office hours or student hours. A lot of times they're scheduled out, but their professors are very adaptive to if it doesn't work with your schedule, shooting an email to them saying, hey, this doesn't really work. Can we work out a different time? And I've never had an issue working around that. And then the support from advisors, I was actually bragging about Debbie to my roommates because they had an issue with advising. And I was like, my advisor, she sets out what I need to take, what I should be taking, how many things left I need to take. So it's very easy to figure out what you need left, or if you run into a problem where something's not open, working around it. Like I said, professors are very approachable. So don't be scared and just ask questions, because it's better to ask questions and get information than being lost in the end and being super confused and stressed. So
to piggyback off that, I'm in clinical procedures right now, and asking questions is probably the only way we are going to get the answers in that class. So like Debbie and I'm in the health science minor too. So everyone in the health science office, I kind of in communication with, depending on what classes I'm taking, and everyone is super receptive and they want to help you. So don't be afraid.
I think having the academic advising meetings are like super beneficial because Debbie is so organized, and just having the list of things that need to be done like per school year. So like as a junior, what I need to be having done this summer by senior year is super helpful. And she also gives you lots of like ideas of things you can do to gain experience that will help you in graduate school as well.
Geez, people, any constructive criticism? No, perfect.
Oh, Debbie, you're the best.
Oh, thanks. For our students that are here right now and our students watching on the recording, I think that's just indicative of the college and why I love working here and why this has been a great fit for me. on the faculty side is we really do spend a good amount of time together. We've gotten to know each other pretty well, and we're all pretty comfortable. Like, I was really happy to go to an event Friday night that the students put together, and we did essential oils and had treats, and I got a chance to catch up with people and hear what's going on, and it's a delight. So I think we all kind of get along, and if we have differences of opinion or something where we disagree, we actually can talk about it and figure it out. So it's very collaborative, in my opinion. Will you talk about like student academic support and tutoring? I think that's really important, especially for students just embarking on their college career, to know that there's resources and that they should take advantage of them.
I actually was a tutor last semester, so I can kind of speak on this from both aspects. I was really afraid to use the tutoring services at first, but here they're free, so take advantage of them as much as you can, because it's not like that at most colleges. So it was a great resource for me because I got to, and it's student led. So if you've gotten above an A in a class, the next semester, you're offered a position to be a tutor sometimes. And so you not only in this major, it being so small, get to form relationships with people in grades above you, but you also learn and you can do better in a class through that. But also being a tutor, I liked helping people, and I feel like I formed, again, the community relationships with people that I wouldn't have had if it wasn't through tutoring. But there's so many. I highly recommend using them when you come here.
Yeah, I really think the tutoring and the academic support is super helpful because personally, I'd be too scared to go. But like just knowing how friendly people are here at Springfield College, I was like, I'll give it a try. Like my sophomore year, I had to take chemistry and I'm awful at chemistry. But the people that were tutoring me like helped so much and I was able to like get an A. And in high school, I wasn't even able to get a C in that class. So it just shows how much like the tutors care about your academics as well.
I agree. I also went for statistics because I was on the verge of getting a C or maybe even a D in that class, and I was so stressed. And I literally would go to the tutor and be like, can you just check my homework and tell me if it's right or how to fix it if it's not right? Like something as silly as homework, which is like 2 questions. I would just go, they'd look at it and they would tell you how to fix it or what was wrong, which really helped me because sometimes homework is just as much as a test grade in classes. So I would not be scared to use it. They're very supportive. And again, they have like a system where you sign up to go, and usually, and I never ran into this problem, but if you run into an issue where it doesn't work with your schedule, you can always work around it and contact the person to schedule like outside time. Cause like Sam said, they're students. So sometimes they have like open times where they could like meet outside of the designated scheduled times.
Yeah, I met with some people on like Sunday mornings if it like didn't work within their schedule. So it's really student led and whatever works for you. They just want to help just as much as the professors, I would say.
And one piece of info that I would add to the mix is this year, Springfield College has instituted undergraduate teaching assistants in classes. So going forward, students that come into the college will likely have experiences where the TAs in their classes are also undergraduate students. And we already have graduate students that are TAs, but this is another opportunity. So well, 2 of the 3 who are going to be seniors will be hearing more details from me about how to take advantage of that opportunity if they so choose to be considered for it. So again, we're always looking for ways that students can support other students. Our next topic is to chat a little bit about practicum and internships. So I'm going to ask Kaylee to talk a little bit about her off-campus experiences because we're in a little bit of a strange year related to COVID. So Kaylee, will you share a little bit about what you've been doing off campus?
Yes. So traditionally, when you're a senior or in your last 2 semesters of the COMDIS program, you have the opportunity to have a practicum experience, which is when you would be paired with a licensed SLP and you basically watch and observe and um, take notes on like what they're doing. This year, because of COVID, we actually had the opportunity to use a program called Master Clinician, which is pre-recorded videos of clinical experiences um, dealing with everything speech related, assessments, treatments, group therapy, individual therapy, research therapies. There's hundreds and hundreds of videos. And then there's like a survey question at the end, which really lets you think about like what was talked about during the video, things that you kind of might overlook when you're watching it, which have found really helpful because it's so different going back and forth with like textbooks and definitions and just learning than to watch an actual therapist working with a real life person. Even if it is through video, I think I've learned so much more working with that. And then we did have the opportunity to work with observing through Zoom, an SLP through the help of Debbie. And I got to sit in on a couple therapy sessions. I actually got to watch an IEP, which was very interesting because I wasn't on the schedule for the day. So it was very last minute, which was very informational for me. So I'm grateful for that. But it's very unique. And after talking with countless students from Springfield and other students outside of Springfield, Practicum is unique to Springfield College. I didn't know this until maybe last year that not every college offers this. So you're really at an advantage getting a practicum experience for futuring your education. So I'm super grateful for that. And it was a big enlightening moment when I realized it. So I've enjoyed it so far.
Great. Yeah. So as Kaylee said, we did a little bit of a pivot because our sites were not open to students in person. So we did quite a bit across telepractice so students could watch sessions from the computer. And then we will resume a full semester-long practicum as soon as things are open and available and we can do that. So as soon as they're back on track for our sites, we will have students going back again. But I think we've done okay, Kaylee. I think we've made it work this year. We've done our best. So I think it should get back up and running in a more typical way over the next academic year. And then after that, I'm really hopeful. So for incoming students, it will be back on track by the time you're seniors. But I do think it's really unique. And we set it up that each semester is a full practicum in 2 different sites. And so when I'm scheduling sites, I try to give 2 different experiences. And I, of course, weigh in information from students and what their preferences are. So, if I have a student that's pretty certain that infant, toddler, and that age group is of no interest, I might more likely schedule them with elementary school and then high school instead of an infant, toddler experience. So I do take into consideration our practica experiences are usually actually always pediatric because we're also getting all of the criteria for people to be speech pathology assistants. And you're most likely to begin in a pediatric case in graduate school as well. So we really set up on the pediatric front. That being said, I do have audiology students that are interested in pursuing audiology. And so if I know far enough in advance, I can try to do an audiology placement, but it takes me a little while to set those up. Great. I'm just looking back at the list. Oh, the campus environment and student life during the week and the weekend. What would you all like to share?
If we're gonna define it versus, we're not a suitcase school. Everyone stays here on the weekends mostly. We have a lot of events, which I'm sure Christina can talk about. But there's always something to do. Freshman year, like I didn't have a car, so because you're not allowed to here as freshmen, actually. So I really didn't leave campus the entire time I was here first semester, and I never found myself bored. There was always different cab activities going on, family weekend we had here, and there's always sports games. Sports games will be your big event once they start again.
Yeah, there's a lot of student activity events that go on every Thursday through Saturday on campus. And there's a lot of events that involve like free food or food trucks, which everyone seems to love. And we try to do things that involve like arts and crafts or just like bonding with your roommates and stuff. And it's really like beneficial, these events, for like incoming freshmen because they get to like meet new people that they normally wouldn't, like in their major and classes. And I just think it's a really great opportunity for students who are trying to be involved with something new as well.
Also, I did pre-camp, which is like a 3-day pre-rec to coming into college. You don't have to do it, you can sign up for it. I was so nervous about coming to campus freshman year, like not knowing people, if I was going to fit in. I fit in just fine. You will too, don't worry. But I got to meet a group of 60 kids that I wouldn't have known coming into college for 3 days and form a relationship with them. So I felt more comfortable coming in. If I didn't do that, I don't know if I would be the person I am today on this campus, because I feel like I was ready to go from the get-go here. It's actually at our East Campus site, and you live, we call it glamping, for 3 days over there, which I loved. It was a great time, and you do bonding exercises over there too to get to know people. Totally recommend, totally look into, but a lot of great things.
There's also, to go off of that, the NSO, I'm not a part of it, but it's new student orientation, which is actually it starts the weekend that you move in. So pre-camp is kind of like an extra couple of days before move in. And then NSO is the first weekend. And it's kind of the same thing. It's different, different leaders, different situation. They do different things. And it's the same thing. You're grouped with a smaller group of people, probably like 10 to 15 people, and you do activities all weekend. And you get 2 leaders in there, and I was really close with both of mine. I reached out to them all the time for things through freshman year. They were really helpful. And also my like close group of friends came from NSO, so you'll appreciate it when you go. I recommend going to it all weekend. It's not required, but you definitely should go. It's worth it. You'll miss it when it's done, so.
And will you talk a little bit more about our Communication Disorders Club, which is a chapter of the National Student Speech Language Hearing Association? So Kaylee's on the exec board, and the exec board is mentoring all of our first year students. Everybody's got 1 or 2 students that they are looking out for, but any other highlights from being in the student club?
Yeah, so I can start. So yeah, like I said, I'm the community outreach coordinator. So I work with other students on campus and off campus to coordinate events for our club. It's as you come type of club. If you can't make it to every meeting, that's totally fine. We're not gonna narc on you. You can join freshman year and stay in it through senior year. It's a unique opportunity again because our major is so small. So it's nice to just meet with everyone, meet with other grades to like connect and compare stories. I know I always talk to the grade above me about things when I was like really stressed out about school. That I met through the club. So it was nice to have that as a backbone. And then this year I joined the exec board, which was a great opportunity, good resume builder. I enjoy it. I love the rest of the exec board. So it's a good time. I recommend it.
We're actually small enough to have our own group chat with all of us in it. And I think that's kind of one of the most beneficial things that we're so small is like anytime there's an issue or anytime we're stuck on an assignment and it's the weekend and maybe Debbie's not available. You never know. We can reach out to them and they're a great resource too.
I think it's super helpful that Debbie and the executive board, they put into the slideshow and meetings opportunities that like can help you for grad school or like just being an SLP assistant, um, like organizations you could be a part of and like scholarship opportunities. And I took advantage of one of those by writing an essay and actually won a $500 scholarship for my junior year, no, sophomore year. And it was super helpful because it helps me pay for my classes that can be very pricey. And it also helped me like reflect on this major and like why I really want to do it. So it was a really great experience.
And this isn't on the list of questions, but I'm curious about your perspective from the student point of view. You know, with Springfield College, we really live the mission, right? And the idea of, you know, service and leadership to others and this mind, body, spirit philosophy. And all of the students here know how much I care about their well-being as humans, you know, and that we kind of check in and make sure we're doing okay and that we're supporting each other. For the students, what does that mind, body, spirit or the mission mean to you? How important is it in part of your experience at Springfield? And why would it be of interest to students who are looking at college?
I think each person makes that statement like individually their own. I remember when I came on my tour, it was like the summer going into my senior year. So what was that, 2017? Our tour guide was named Sam. So I was like, okay, this is a weird first step that I'm already here. But he was like, I'm a senior and someone told me coming onto this campus, I'm not going to come out the same person. Meaning you're going to become, he was like, you're going to become like a man, a well-rounded individual. And I was like, Mom, no way that's going to happen to me. I'm going to be the same person. But honestly, even being here for 3 years, I find myself being more independent as a person and well-rounded altogether. And I think that like mantra or the meaning of Springfield College and what it embodies has really made me into that person. So you make it your own. And I think that's really different from other colleges.
Yeah, I really liked the learning about the philosophy of Springfield College because like I didn't get that vibe from any of the colleges I toured, and I just think it's important to that the college like is so focused on our mental health and physical health, and doing these three concepts also through like volunteer opportunities is really what like attracted me to Springfield College. And I love volunteering and helping the Springfield community. And I just think it's so cool how many like programs and stuff the college offers for undergraduates to be involved in.
Yeah, I agree with both of what Sam and Christina said. I think something that's very unique to Springfield is, like Sam said, it's what you make of it. I remember like being a first year, even into sophomore year, I was like, like it can feel very overwhelming. You're in a new spot. You don't know a lot of people. I knew nobody coming to Springfield College, not one person. And I was like, all right, I got this. And it like became a thing where you could be walking the same way to class every Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and see the same 5 people or see 10 new people. And no one's going to be scared to say hi to you or hold the door for you. Or even if you want to ask them a question, like everyone's super friendly. They care about your well-being and how you're doing. I think that was very clear this year too, with everything COVID related. Things were just like stepped up an even higher notch than they were with checking in on us, making sure people are okay, between friends, colleagues. So I think it's just a very different environment that cares about who you are when you leave the school. And I know like 4 years, it seems like a long time, but it is literally like the blink of an eye. I can remember my first day at school like yesterday. And I'll be done in 2 months, which is insane. So I'm very thankful for the opportunities I've had and all the things that come with Springfield. So
For a second, I thought you were getting teary. I was like, it's too soon, Kaylee, it's too soon. And I think that's an incredible thing because, you know, hearing that makes me think back to my very first day undergrad, which was a few years ago. But I do remember that experience of going to a college. I didn't know anybody, not a single human being at the college that I picked. I actually picked it for Comm Dis. I wanted my major. And I remember that first night thinking, what did I do? And how do I get out of this? And then you come into a fold of activities and people, and you meet people, and they you know, are the path to meet new people and organizations and your classes, and it all builds. And my college was about 6,000 at the time. So even, you know, Springfield's even smaller and closer in the community. So just know that, you know, if you're ready to take a leap or to have a little bit of a new experience, that there's a lot of support to make that a wonderful one, for sure. Any advice that you would offer students coming into their first year of college?
Don't be afraid to try new things. Definitely, especially if you're going into a new experience and you don't know anyone, like, don't be afraid to put yourself out there, be the crazy one at NSO that goes in the middle of the circle and chants the cheers, because someone's going to remember your face and then try to talk to you. One really big piece of advice is always leave your door open freshman year. I know COVID, you can't do that. But once you come here, if you can, like, leave your door open, and here people will just walk by and introduce themselves. And because I did that, I think I met my entire floor in the first week, which most colleges, you can't do that. But yeah, it's really cool. Just put yourself out there and do things you wouldn't do.
I agree with Sam. And to go off that, just also be optimistic about this new chapter in your life. And like it's a time for you to grow and like learn more about yourself as a person. So getting involved with new things or just going for something you're scared of. Everything that I've gone for that I've been scared of has been so rewarding so far. So just try new things. It's worth it.
I think for like the academic side of it, something I found really beneficial was introducing yourself to the professors, putting like a name to the face. Every time I did that, it was more beneficial to me. Like if I needed help, they're like, oh yeah, I know who this person is. Like, you know, it's just as silly as it is or as scary as it might be. I always benefited when I introduce myself and talk to them in person, go to the office hours. If you need help, like just don't be scared to ask for help. I feel like I was like a victim to that for a while. So once you start doing it, it's so much better for you and you're going to feel way more at ease.
I know for me, my student hours are open for just a chat too. It doesn't even have to be related to an assignment. Sometimes people are just coming by for a conversation, or well, these days it's maybe through my office window outside for a chat. But yeah, I love to have students pop in and just catch up and see what's going on. So it doesn't always have to be like you feel like you need help on an assignment or on something you're unsure about. We also want to know you as people. So I'm going to open it up and see if either verbally or in the chat, if our guest has any questions for me or for our students. Ooh, we do have a question.
Yes, I can. So like I said, I'll be graduated in May. Um, and I actually took the route of working as an SLPA, fingers crossed, which is again a unique opportunity with the Comdis major. Not a lot of people can work straight out of undergrad with their degree in a field like really specific to what they want to do. So you basically work under a licensed SLP. You have your own caseload of clients. They're just kind of there as like a guidance. So you don't really do a lot of the paperwork side of it, or sign off on the paperwork part of it because you're not fully licensed yet. But it gives you the opportunity to just take a step back from school for a while, which is really what I needed after this year and a half. Which I was very hesitant about for a while because everyone's always like, don't stop school. Once you stop school, you're not going to go back. Like, it's going to be so hard to go back. And I was like, you know what? If it's hard, I'm figure it out. Like, I need to take a break. I'm overwhelmed. I'm run down. I'm not going to be giving it my all if I go into school right away. So for me, it was the best option. I'm really excited about it. An opportunity through NISLA Club, if you're interested in joining. I know we try to do our best to have a variety of speakers come. So our last meeting, we had someone who worked as an SLPA for a year come in and talk about it, just to give like a personal testimony to what her year was like doing it, because I know it's different for other people and some people might not be. I was, like I said, hesitant about it. Took like 3 times of someone talking about it for me to be like, okay, like I could do this. I can see myself doing it. So yeah, I'm excited. And I know, I'm not sure where you're from, but I know from Massachusetts specifically, when you graduate from Springfield College with your bachelor's in ComDis, you'll be fully prepared to be licensed as an SLPA, which was good to know because I know for some states it's different. So I would just look into that because some hours requirements are different for different states. So if that's something you're interested in, just I would say get ahead of that until you're not in senior year, like freaking out about hours.
Great question. Any other questions, or you could even give a topic and we could chat about that if you don't have a specific question.
It doesn't have to be academic related if you don't want.
This is how my students and I bond, is I make them know things about me. So my students, what is my favorite color?
Purple.
So there you go. Okay. Current students, any topics that you feel like we should cover before we wrap this up? I think we covered a lot. Go ahead, Kaylee.
I was just gonna say, I know this is like specific for ComDis, but if you're not 100% sure about ComDis, but you're still really interested in Springfield, you can come in, you can change your major 3 times if you want before you're locked into something. So if something like that is holding you back from, you're not 100% sure what you want to do, but you're set on Springfield College, you can come in as general studies is what we're calling it now, right? So yeah, or you can come in as business and then change to health science. Like there's so many options. So don't let something like that scare you, because that was also my problem when I came to school.
And I would say the Campus Career Center, I think most of you have used that resource at one point or another, and they are phenomenal at helping people figure out what their interests are if they're deciding on majors, or preparing those employment documents like resumes and things like that. So we have a great resource on campus. And the first year curriculum is designed to give foundational courses in a lot of different majors. So you can come in and have that flexibility. I think the only time it's difficult to make a change of major is when you are a junior, because then you just sort of have gone through quite a few classes, and you could do it, but it just might take you a little longer to get there, or maybe some strategery would be involved. So, but coming into college, it's wide open. So, well, thanks to the students. I'm going to go ahead and stop our recording.